Welcome to the Lodge. You've accessed
the Lodgecast experience.
Warning, warning, dangerous spoilers ahead. Enjoy.
Looking for some hot takes on the Lodgecast. I need phone counter library rights. I want some hot takes in my eardrums. Watch out for salad dragons. These takes are coming in hot tonight. I want some hot takes. I need your hot takes.
Hello and welcome to a B movie edition of Hot Takes. I'm Elijah West. With me, as always, is brother Bishki.
Be yourself.
We got brother Lucas in the back.
I was going to think of a bee catchphrase. Let me think here. Be all you can be.
There you go. Brother Justin, what do you got?
To be or not to be, keeper.
There it is. Oh, my God.
Not the bees as well.
Not the bees. We bee kept with the Beekeeper tonight.
Which was a bee picture.
It was a bee picture.
Take that, American fiction.
It stars Jason Statham.
Sting 'em.
Now, I didn't really have faith in Jason Statham as a standalone action hero. He's always come packaged with a bunch of Expendables and a bunch of bros. I don't know if I'd ever seen him be just the guy in a movie before, but I did hear a rumor that, Justin, you did some research for this.
I did. I wanted to revisit one of his action franchises, so I started watching the Transporter movies. And I had to get a free trial week of Stars to do so.
Look at this.
Which I successfully canceled before I was charged.
Nice work.
So no need to dip into that sweet Venmo we got. And midway through the Transporter 3, I realized I meant to start watching The Mechanic.
Oh, shit.
Not the Transporter.
That's another franchise.
So I started that one.
Did you come to completion with either of these franchises?
I watched all the Statham Transporter movies. I think they did like the Transporter Reloaded or some
swapped him
bullshit
out.
with like another Euro Dude Bro. They're definitely Euro Dude Bro action movies. They're like English and French, produced by Luc Besson and the like. And they're fun. He's kind of one note.
Right.
And that one note is fine. It's stoic and kick-ass and English.
He only really does franchises. He's got the Crank franchise. He's got the Expendables franchise.
I forgot about Crank.
What other franchises am I missing here?
I
Blitz or something?
I enjoyed Crank back in the day, and Crank 2 re-cranked.
And then all of Guy Ritchie's movies.
High Voltage.
Yes, High Voltage. Sorry. How could I forget?
But what's interesting about all these aforementioned films is you would think they would go straight to DVD, streaming, Redbox, entertainment, but I think these were all theatrical releases. Am I wrong?
I think he's big in Europe.
Yeah, he's international.
He just tells his agents, he's like, I want movies like Mark Wahlberg in the theaters. Give it to me.
Give it to me. Jack it in. Well, we came here to face him tonight as the Beekeeper. And yes, it is discount night.
Discount night.
Discount night at the Six.
At the Six, the Burbank Six.
Where whole families bring like blankets to have a sleepover.
I was going to mention that. People were fucking bringing blankets. The couple next to me was full like living room snuggle horizontal. Like they were fucking laid out. And people were in their pajamas. Discount night is a whole subculture. And they care not for Nicole Kidman. No. It was dead silent.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what, man? At this point, I'm with them.
Yeah,
we need a new one.
We need fresh.
It's stale.
I'm terrified of what's coming.
It's going to be bad, and we're going to have it for like 4 years.
Because I know
like the next president.
Yeah, I'm cheering for 4 more years of this Kidman because the next whatever that comes next,
And it's going to last for a long time.
Yes.
You're not going to like it.
It's not going to be good.
Now, are you saying the current one is problematic because she's too old? Is that what you're saying? We need younger people in office?
Right,
Oh,
slightly.
man.
I mean, in promos?
You know how they're going to fuck it up? I'll tell you how they're going to fuck it up right now. I got 2 words for you.
All right.
AI.
Oh, shit. She's not even going to show up for this one.
I got one word for you. Comedy. They're
They're going to try to be fun. They're going to be too self-aware.
going to be very self-aware.
They're going to deep fake Nicole Kidman onto a bunch of clips or something.
Yeah.
Oof.
Which brings us back to this movie.
Oh wait, no. They're gonna do a Barbie inspired ad. Guaranteed. It's gonna be like Nicole Kidman, like in the Barbie verse.
That's rough.
I bet.
Let's talk about something much, much happier. Our Venmo sponsors for this evening are Sister Kathy and the Lodge father himself.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sister Kathy, Lodge Father.
We did buy some concessions.
We
I got
did.
I got a nachos that was premium.
I also got a nachos that was premium.
They sounded pretty crunchy. I could hear the crunch on either side of me.
And yeah, so we thank you so much. Our Venmo is at Movie Lodgecast. Donations have been rolling in all winter break, so we thank you so much.
And we're going to get to each and every one of you, no matter what.
We will shout you out.
And the Lodge Father has also submitted his review of The Beekeeper. I have not listened to it, but that will be later in the episode. And I think I can probably guess his bones. But we saw it for ourselves in the opening credits.
Whoa, hold on. Pause. Time out. We forgot to record the schnapps. Lodge Master, can you please have actor Edward Furlong summon me to record the schnapps?
Brother Brizchicky? No, Biz, there's no R. Brother Bizchicky?
What's that shot?
Thanks, Edward. From Rotten Tomatoes. In The Beekeeper, one man's brutal campaign for vengeance takes on national stakes after he is revealed to be a former operative of a powerful and clandestine organization known as, quote, Beekeepers, unquote, period.
The credits are over some old periodicals. It said, like, the secret of Egyptian bees.
Yeah, the 7 opening credits.
Oh my god!
Like he's like a serial killer beekeeper where he's like murdering people with his like hives for centuries.
I was very happy when I saw like all of these little news clippings about bees that the credits were over. I'm like, okay, something funny, intentional or not, is going to happen here.
Guys, did the Africanized killer bees ever get here?
Oh, I don't know.
I remember that.
They
were on their way.
That.
Yeah.
Well, there are bee factoids and metaphors slathered all over this movie.
Oof.
Like so much honey. It's strange because I think Statham probably does skew a little older in at least the American demographic. Like people who go to Expendables movies are probably people who understand who most of the people in it are and therefore a little bit older. This movie is custom made for that demo.
Yeah.
Because we get Phylicia Rashad, sweet Phylicia, and she is getting scammed online.
In real time.
Yeah, in fucking real. They take us through her whole plight. She lives in this country house. Statham is her studly beekeeper. And they have a little bit of dialogue together at the beginning. And I sensed a little sexual tension there. I liked it. I knew I wasn't going to get what I wanted from that. But when she was like, why don't you come up to the house and let me feed you? I'm like, damn. Yeah.
Yeah, you bring Phylicia Rashad some honey.
Yes. And we intercut him tending to the bees. As if Statham in this movie, as far as we know at that point, wouldn't also get scammed, you know? Mm-hmm. But they're treating it like he could save her, but he's out in the pasture. And this fucking scam phone bank, they're creating these as like a hybrid between like a nightclub and a game show.
Yeah, they're like tech bros with too much money.
there's giant screens. There's neon light everywhere. There's like
It felt like Boiler Room, Wolf of Wall Street meets like Bangkok strip club.
meets like Virtuosity. There's a huge screen where like a score comes up where they're like, okay, we got a live one here. Let's pull out our best moves.
Now, I don't know if you guys notice me aggressively trying to point out decor in these offices, but they had a life-size T-800 Terminator endoskeleton.
Yeah.
I was wondering what you were pointing
That was
at.
beautiful. You didn't see that? That was great.
I didn't see that.
That was later. But
Jealous.
So she gets scammed. She gets all her accounts drained. And Statham, meanwhile, is outside prepping a jar of honey for sweet Phylicia. And let me tell you, when this audience under their cozy blanket saw that honey get poured, you just heard this, oh.
so good.
People loved seeing that honey get poured. And so he goes for dinner with her, but she did. And
She shot herself.
she shot herself, which I thought for sure was foul play. Maybe she had like a life insurance policy that they needed to cash, so they went and killed her or something. But no, she really did just kill herself from the shame of getting scammed, which is pretty dark.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't know what what we were in for
No.
in terms of
How could you know?
in terms of kind of action comedy,
Right.
until then the coming scenes kind of brought it into focus.
But that where she's just like fucking shot herself, like that's wild.
I want to know what the writing meeting was like where they're brainstorming and they're like, hey, we need to make our own John Wick.
Right.
What kicks off John Wick? Somebody kills a puppy.
Right.
How do we one up that?
They
They're like,
kill
what if
Claire Huxtable.
What if Claire Huxtable kills herself? They're like, damn it, you've done it.
From shame.
Kurt, you've done it.
So that's when her daughter comes on the scene as an FBI agent. And she gives a pretty wild performance in this. It feels to me like somebody won a contest.
Oh,
You know,
Yeah.
like
dude, do you know that bees like go places? And can we get another coffee cup in the scene? Can we get props in here with more to-go coffee cups? Because I don't think we have enough coffee cups in all our scenes.
Now, canonically, did she get her Harvard shirt at a thrift store?
there's her whole character is funny. Like she'll go to work in like super ripped up jeans. I think to show that she's like irreverent, but it just looks funny, especially when she's carrying a giant gun.
Yeah.
And like you said, unfortunately, with her, let's say, limited acting ability, has to deliver most of the B information in this, which is, it only gets funnier the more it kind of stacks up.
yeah, no, if Statham's kind of the perfect match for this action parody, I want to call it.
Yeah.
Their kind of SNL sketch scenes with the FBI are sort of the not working very well for me, like side of the movie.
But to me, if you're on board with this, which you can already hear Lucas probably is completely not, but
What?
if you like give this movie some slack, the badness of the comedy kind of adds to it. It's like if you watch Purple Rain, the comedy in that is terrible, but that's part of the charm.
But it's still 4 bones.
But it's still 4 bones no matter what.
You heard it here first, folks. This is Jason Statham's Purple Rain.
And just hearing him deliver some lines like, hurting an old person is like hurting a child, but a child has parents. Older people must face the hornets alone. With a completely straight face. Like, that is fucking hilarious.
And
to
the hive metaphor got completely lost halfway through the movie.
Oh my god.
Because when he was saying it early
I have
on,
to protect the hive.
it seemed like the hive meant people.
Right.
And then later it
He's
was
just killing
the government.
The meaning of the hive mutates throughout the movie. But he gets this fucking look for the center part of the movie where he's wearing this dorky ass blue baseball cap, non-denominational cap. There's nothing on it. And it sits atop his head so awkwardly that I have to believe it's just to make him look taller, because Statham is a short king.
Yeah.
Like, everybody's taller than Statham on screen. So he has this giant fucking baseball cap that's just making him seem a little taller.
Yeah, he was more like the construction worker as opposed to the beekeeper, because he just looked like he walked off a job site.
Yeah.
You know, with his Carhartt jacket and his nondescript black mesh, clean, brand new off the rack trucker hat.
Right.
Why wasn't
it is
he
crisp?
Why
It's so crisp.
wasn't he not wearing his beekeeper outfit? I don't understand. Like,
The beekeeper outfit was cool.
Why didn't he use bees more?
It was
in
like
his attacks?
It was
I
like a
didn't understand.
silver fencing outfit. Yeah. And why didn't he use bees more in his trade? Ugh. A missed opportunity
They
there.
talk about bees enough. Like, he should have used some honey to do something.
He should be able to. He should have like proprietary like bee controlling methods, you know, where he can kind of like the dude with the arrow that flies around in Guardians of the Galaxy. Like, he should be able to like sick bees on people.
Yeah.
Anyway, that'll be for the sequel.
He did get to do his signature move, which he also did in Expend4bles, which is casually walk up to a group of dudes who are talking about him.
Yes.
Nonchalantly.
Yes.
And just beat the shit
Just
out
beat
of
the
all
shit
of them.
out of 'em. And he doesn't engage them first, which would be much better. If he's like, oh yeah, that guy, I bet I could take him. You could take him, and we could all take him. Wrong, you know?
Yeah.
Like, he should interact with them if they're talking about his lore. But I digress. He blows up the first call center, just blows it up. They say that he only killed 4 people in there, but like, that whole building blew up. There's janitors in there that don't know what the fuck is going on. You know,
He did tell the receptionist to evacuate the building.
But think about if there was a break room, you know, for janitors.
I don't know.
That's Beekeeper 2, Janitor's Revenge.
Right, the janitor comes after the beekeeper.
The Digifire explosion didn't make me feel it really blew up. So
No, it was Digi. Digi don't hurt.
Hey, David Ayer does not get Christopher Nolan building blow up money.
Yeah.
So we are introduced to Josh Hutcherson from Hunger Games fame as kind of the big bad guy. Lucas, you didn't like him? Tech bro?
Not a
Tech bro bad guy?
Tech bro satire.
We see him on a skateboard just rolling through the office. You didn't like that guy?
Nah.
Well, we got a bigger star for his kind of guardian, Jeremy Irons.
Jeremy's Iron shows up, and now his stock may have fallen over the years. I mean, he's got peaks and valleys just like Nicolas Cage, but he's in a lot of shit too. But when Jeremy Irons walks onto the scene, I still have hushed reverence for him. I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah,
that's Jeremy Irons.
He can deliver these bee-based lines.
Oh, it's so
like,
good.
Perfectly.
It's so good.
I don't know if you guys heard this, but when we were walking out, 2 Gen Z girls behind us,
they were talking Irons.
One of the girls said, and I quote, "Well, I know who Jeremy Irons is." And it just put a big fucking smile on my face.
Yeah.
Like, fucking A right, you do.
She's like, I know who he is, but it didn't click that it was him until the very end. And I'm like, well, you were looking for him.
Well, it's better than not.
It's better than not seeing him at all. So during this movie up until this point, I was sitting next to LT. LT was between Justin and myself as kind of the ice cold buffer trying to ice this movie down. And I kid you not, it was all sighs. Every breath was it was like he was fumigating bees with his breath.
Breathing sighs.
Yeah, I at a certain point I had to close my eyes whenever the FBI duo showed up on screen. I couldn't
handle the comedy.
Look at them anymore or like listen to them talk. It was like I've seen like more intense episodes of Criminal Minds with Mandy Patinkin. You know, like it's just
it was definitely on the level of Criminal Minds.
beyond TV pilot presentation that never got picked up, like aesthetic. I mean, this was painful from the opening credits on, and it just got worse.
CSI Beekeeping.
And I feel like, it was undersold with Statham. Like it was just way too much FBI shit. Like this was just a tough watch.
So a group of Mandos goes after Statham on his own turf. They shoot his bees, and they show a swarm of bees kind of like kick up from getting shot. And that's when I really thought there was going to be more bee swarming activity. But that's kind of the last you see of the bees. Like, that's it. This is where you kind of understand where the movie's going as far as the gore and violence level, because he turns on all these power tools and he like impales somebody's neck with a gun barrel. He's like a super caffeinated Michael Myers at this point, just fucking gruesomely dispatching these guys. And for my money, I want that. I want some fucking gore in my silly action movie. Why not?
Yeah, the action scenes were well choreographed and violent.
I like that stuff.
I liked how when you got further and further up the chain of these tech bro criminals, their shirts got more and more ridiculous.
Yes. Oh, I love that shit too. I was on the wavelength of a lot of what this movie was doing to make me smile. Like he burns down the barn, and he's just off on his rampage, and that's when the FBI agent Hero kind of says under her breath, she's like, I lost my virginity in that barn. Like,
did that land? I don't know.
It landed because it didn't land.
Because the audience was dead silent during a lot of these jokes, especially the FBI stuff.
Yeah.
And I can't say that.
I like that it didn't land, but I like that it tried to land.
I ain't letting no discount night crowd tell me when I can enjoy a goddamn joke.
No, and like when the fingerless guy, like he's talking about how bad he fucked up, and then he looks to his left, and there's Statham.
No, that was good.
On the bridge, punching through the window, and he's trying to talk his way out of it. He's like, "You want crypto NFTs?" Like, come on, man.
No, there was good funny scenes. There was a scene at a gas station when another beekeeper.
Oh, we'll get there.
Okay.
We'll fucking get there.
Yeah.
But Jeremy Irons, speaking of Jeremy Irons, one of his doozy lines is, with full Irons gravitas, if a beekeeper's coming for you, there's nothing you or I can do about it. Like, it is so just wackadoodle. You can't take it seriously. It doesn't want you to take it seriously.
If a beekeeper is coming for you.
And then Minnie Driver just shows up for like
thankless role.
A scene. There must be a term that like agents give you, like we have to chum the water a little bit just to remind people that you exist. You just pop up in the Beekeeper for one scene. Like, what is that?
I wonder if it's because the scene before someone uses a minigun, and when they were writing it, they were like, "Hey, wait a minute!
Hey, wait a minute! We have an idea
this
here.
Movie needs Minnie Driver."
Well, around this time, of course, we find out that Beekeeper and beekeeping is code, and this is a John Wick scenario where he's a beekeeper, and there's a long line of beekeepers that are a secret program, and to me, that makes it a little less fun. Like, once it becomes this, official Wick scenario, I like that he was just a fucking insane beekeeper,
Yeah, this is where the movie kind of lost me.
Yeah.
But if we're going to keep going with the plot, I'll tell you where it won me back over. Continue.
Well, I have a salad dragon to announce.
The Salad Dragon.
A scene in a movie that is so bizarre, baffling, or transcendent that it instantly justifies the price of admission. Or Reese Witherspoon's leafy transformation in A Wrinkle in Time.
This is where it all comes together with the minigun and the gas station. There's a new beekeeper because Statham is retired, and the new beekeeper comes to take him out. And speaking of Purple Rain, this looks like a female Prince cosplayer.
Who was that lady?
I don't know, but I was happy she showed up, and she had fucking machine guns, and she goes to battle with Statham at this gas station, and he kind of beats the shit out of her, and that's when she whips out this trunk mounted minigun that she just fucking tears up the whole place with, Terminator 2 style. Like, if this movie had like 5 tent poles like that, then we'd be talking.
Yeah. If it kept up in the ante with the people he was going up against like that was quite a scene.
He takes his trusty jar of honey. She's manning the minigun, and he throws it, and it hits her right in the head. And she's like confused by the honey, and then he lights her on fire, and then casually cuts off her finger to use later to gain access to a secure building. Lucas, come on, man.
This is all dog shit. You guys are crazy. I can't believe you're putting so much time and work into talking about it.
Lucas is mad because I keep taking his pulse. I'm sorry. I'm trying to make sure you're still alive.
It was unwatchable. This was like watching honey dry.
He was in full George C. Scott hardcore mode at this point, just rubbing his face, muttering under his breath. Painful.
As soon as it started, I leaned over. I said, "This feels like Chat GPT wrote this shit. Spit it out for us, like piggies at a trough, just feeding us slop. Just the lowest common denominator, flattest,
honey flavored slop, at least.
Like most like bloodless rated R movie, just with the worst acting across the board with everybody.
I mean,
including Statham.
Like
it was like dyeing his beard stubble black, which was distracting.
His beard did look a little
painted, like spray painted on.
Travolta-esque, dye
Good
job.
Lord.
Yeah, I mean, I will like go with Lucas. Like it's like an SNL skit of a action movie stretched over, hour and 45 minutes.
I could see that.
And there's peaks and valleys. Like there's laughs and there's stuff that's just not.
But some of the laughs you kind of have to look for. Like one of my favorite moments was we go to another game show nightclub call center, and there's just a video wall of senior citizens on their webcams, just kind of sitting there. And I smiled so wide just thinking of everybody shooting that and then uploading it to some Beekeeper server, like all these people just sitting there in front of their webcams, just like doing nothing.
I also really love the crouton in that scene where he kept hitting the guy with the stapler.
It's a crouton.
Salad crouton.
He keeps stapling the mini boss, Statham stapling, and he gets one of the FBI guys cornered, gets his gun out of his hands, and the guy's like, "Oh, no, I have 4 kids." And he's like, "Yeah, I know. But what of the entire elevator full of like SWAT team dudes he just massacred?" That's probably dozens of kids.
Okay, you gotta pay attention to who he deems worthy of killing and not, because he selectively disarms and doesn't kill all the FBI dudes, but private security bros, he takes them the fuck out.
Right. He slices them in half with a falling elevator.
I wasn't paying that much attention to the rules.
Well, that's why I'm here.
Well, and I had to keep thinking, if Statham's just killing everybody, then Statham's got to die at the end. If it's one of those revenge movies where it's like, if there's no rules, then our current moral compass has to kill this guy at the end.
Yeah, if you're wearing a Kevlar vest and the Beekeeper shoots you in the chest, that means you're okay.
Right.
You get a pass.
Irons says to the boss boy, "You kicked the beehive, and now we must reap the whirlwind." Like, what did I want to see Irons' face when he was reading this script? Like, just go.
Yeah, it's interesting that he said yes, but I haven't paid attention to his filmography, so maybe this is pretty standard.
He was in Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice.
Yeah, that's true.
That's true. I got another crouton. Irons keeps pressuring the boy to call his mom to help out. He finally calls his mom. He connects. We see her kind of walking down a hallway. He's like, "I need to stay at the beach house. I'm going to bring some tech bros. Is that cool?" She's like, "Fine, no drugs." She hangs up and kind of talks to her assistant. She then turns to meet these foreign dignitaries, and her assistant is like, "Right this way, Madam President."
Dun, dun, dun.
And the music goes, so it's more like a salad sting. Like the crouton is for that sting I would love to see like a test screening where it's like, oh, people didn't get it that she's the president of the
This
United
is where
States.
it picked me back up
That
because
spot, yes, good.
because when they started talking about all this secret organization shit, I was
Right.
like, this movie had it. It was about a probably retired soldier,
Right.
SEAL team guy, whatever the fucking British equivalent is. He's retired. He's a beekeeper now, but now he's got one last revenge mission. I'm
Yes.
like, you had me.
Yes.
Then it got too big.
Too big
and you
for its
lost
britches.
me.
Yes. Yes.
Then, once it got so big that it became clear he was going to try to kill the president of the United
Yes.
States, I'm like, I'm
Then we're
back
back.
in.
Then we're fucking
because that's audacious enough
yes.
to get my attention.
That's fucking funny. It's funny.
Then call it the Secret Serviceman, for fuck's sake, and make it about him being like her former Secret Service agent who's getting back at her son. Make it relevant and dramatic and interesting, not a fucking beekeeper that has nothing to do with anything.
He's a
It was
beekeeper.
arbitrary. Could have been the fucking elephant trainer. Could have been anything. It was pointless. You guys are all crazy.
Our FBI hero then says, in a beehive, there is something known as a queen slayer. And at this point, LT basically imploded. If you, dear listener, are familiar with the phenomenon of a penis shriveling up when cold, that was LT pulling his hood strings and just folding into himself. He couldn't even look. His eyes were completely covered by the hood. He was gone, which is too bad because we're at the climax at this fucking party, this like 90s party at the beach house.
It's Commando.
And
Yeah,
it
and
is
I'm
Commando.
real worried about the henchman who's an amputee. Ooh, watch out. One-legged fucking pirate's going to beat Jason Statham. I'm real worried.
but he's Australian.
they
That
sh-
means he's nuts.
They show a couple ice sculptured dragons that they're bringing into the party, and that's how I knew we were in the right movie. We got literal ice dragons in here. And the Mandos that show up in these like bright colored jackets look like they're straight out of a Neo Geo video game.
Fucking influencer henchmen.
It's great.
Most of the party goers are a pretty good group of party goers.
They're great.
Yeah.
We got a guy with like one of those crystal ball, like labyrinth guys with the moving the ball around. We got fire twirlers straight off of Craigslist, Romania or wherever this was.
Mm-hmm.
And who says to him, to be or not to be? Isn't that the bloody question?
The henchman.
Yeah. And then Statham's like, I think I'll take the B. And then he fights with the main Mando. Super brutal. All music goes away, and they're just wailing on each other with these brass knuckles, stabbing each other, cutting each other. I was into it at this point.
Okay, listen, I don't want to tell you how to run your podcast, but we got to wrap it up because LT is going to start throwing punches.
Yeah, he's pissed. He's pissed. We'll get there. So the climax, he shoots our tech bro bad guy and just leaps out the window like Batman, like B-Man. And our hero, our FBI hero, has him in her sights, and she lowers her gun, and he puts on some scuba gear and disappears into the water. I thought he had a jetpack on. I thought he was going to fly away.
I thought he took a knife to the belly. So what's he doing going in the water with an open wound?
It's very painful, but it takes a long time to die from it.
He should have slathered some honey on the wound or something.
No,
like
there's nothing realistic about this. You could do whatever. He could fly off.
There needed to be more
Neo at the end of the Matrix.
Yeah,
Yes,
exactly.
There
Why
needed
not?
to be way more bee shit and honey shit mixed in. But anyway,
With like Wu-Tang on the closing credits.
Oh,
like,
they should've.
Wu-Tang
Oh, they
killer
should've.
bees,
Major oversight.
motherfuckers.
on that note, let's go them bee bones. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. We're going to start with Brother Bishke. You're first to bone.
First to bone.
All right. Yeah, I didn't know what I was in for. I thought I was just getting a straight action film with all total Statham sincerity.
Right.
And this is like
Well, he's still pretty sincere.
no, he plays it right because this is an action parody and he plays it totally straight.
Yeah.
Which makes him funny.
Yeah.
So he gets a bone.
Nice.
And
that's a full bone.
And then, yeah, you know, parody's tough. It's tough to keep up. Like, it does take really good writing. And this, I would say maybe a quarter of the jokes were landing. Like,
I'll take it.
That's a quarter bone.
Yeah. So you know, you take a movie like Fatal Instinct, or you know, or any of the parody movies. You know, this I didn't know that's what I was in for. So it was surprising, but there was some really bad scenes, like with the FBI crew and the B-Talk. Like, you can only call him the Beekeeper so many times.
There were a few steps over the line with that. I'll agree.
Before it just doesn't land anymore. But for all that, I'll give it another bone. I'm going to give it 2.
Ooh!
Utah, give me 2.
I felt some of LT's pain at certain points. I was just like, I'm not laughing. Thinks it's more clever than it is, and whatever.
2 bones.
But 2 is good enough for me for this B movie.
We'll take it and run. Brother Justin, you know you're next.
You know, this is unequivocally John Wick wannabe.
There you go. Yeah.
And I myself am okay with that because any super successful franchise is going to have imitators. And so your only job really is to separate the good imitators from the shitty imitators.
And let me just take this moment to plug Beckman, the Christian John Wick, which we covered deep in lockdown.
Excellent.
Or Peppermint, or Mr. Nobody,
That's
or
there's plenty
Rambo
of
Last Blood. What else am I missing here?
Yeah, there's
plenty of them.
Anyway.
So, yeah, it had peaks and valleys for me because I wanted it to be more simple, or I wanted it to be way more absurd.
Right.
So my expectations were kind of, you know, unable to be met, I think, in what we were actually working with here.
Right.
You know what? I think the answer is, for movies like this, they need to be made like an exquisite corpse. So
yeah.
One person writes a comedy vehicle for Will Forte, and then another person writes a fucking straight humorless action movie.
Yes.
And then we just combine them.
Yeah. Why
You
not?
know what I mean?
Why not?
I think that will make for much better entertainment in the future. That said, I enjoyed this much more than Brother Lucas, who is going to murder me in a couple minutes. I can't quite go 3 bones. That'd be a little much, but this is a 2.5 bone action movie. Could have been worse. Could have been better.
2.5. That's love and light. That's love and light. All right. Let's go to some stormy weather. Brother Lucas.
Bumblebee, bumblebee, bumblebee.
Here he goes.
The Beekeeper makes the tax collector look like Citizen Kane. Oh, man. I don't know what you're talking about, Brother Bishy, because I saw the trailer for this movie in a theater at least more than once, and it's one of those trailers that shows you every single scene in chronological order, including the guy with the missing fingers getting yanked off the bridge. So
no.
Every twist and turn I saw coming, with the exception
Madam President
of the Trump surrogate Manchurian candidate, you know, poor Dollar Tree version Meryl Streep or whatever they were going for there.
Dollar Streep.
But yeah, this isn't parody. This is definitely like a John Wick knockoff. But I think Bishke is like projecting like a Zucker Brothers type parody onto it. But I did not find any of it funny or amusing.
Well, I didn't say it was funny,
or
but
entertaining.
that's what he's trying for, right?
You're projecting.
I guess I'm projecting.
No, you are totally wrong, Bishke.
It's a straight
100%. I'm telling you, you're wrong. And I was really hoping I was going to miss this one when I got sick last week, and you guys were like, no,
we waited. We waited for
I was
you.
like, please don't, really. I was really not looking forward to this because I just knew it was dumb. And when it started, I was like, oh my God, it's like way worse than I could have possibly imagined. Like, I wasn't even thinking student feature certified.
Oh, shit.
I was thinking like, you know, 5-year-old birthday clown certified. Like, that's how bad it was.
Wait, is the clown 5 years old?
Yeah. And I was just
That's
thinking,
the real
like,
twist.
you know, maybe if they made this movie, like if they modeled it after like A History of Violence and Jason Statham is the beekeeper, and he's living a quiet life with Phylicia Rashad, and all of a sudden his past, comes back to haunt him, and he's like trying to talk his way out peacefully, and it doesn't quite work that way, so he's got to like go Pompeii on their ass and unleash the bees or whatever. I could maybe get behind that movie and give that movie a bone, or if it was Rambo Last Blood, if it was like Master Gardener, where the whole first act is him and some farm girl and he's teaching her how to be a beekeeper, and some bad dudes show up and accidentally kill her and he goes on a kill crazy rampage. Maybe I could give that a bone.
Oh shit.
Or if he was like a Secret Service agent, like that Clint Eastwood movie Absolute Power or whatever, and he like witnesses something that Josh Hutcherson does, and then he like leaves in disgust, but Hutcherson tries to kill him to like not have any witnesses, and Statham is like, no, I'm coming back to the White House to murder your fucking son. And you build it around that. I could give a bone to that, but for this movie, I will give it a woof.
Woof. What sound do bees make? do bees woof? I guess they do. Boy.
No wonder all the honeybees are dying with movies like this,
That woof was not a twist to this tale.
I wish I was on whatever you guys are smoking. I really wish I took whatever you guys had before I showed up.
It's called marijuana.
Yeah.
And let me tell you,
I had a strong bowl of soup before I came to this movie. I love that instead of getting a live rewrite, we got this movie should be literally any other movie.
Right. Anything else.
Or at least put Jason Statham in a bee suit and let him use bees more, and I'll be like less grumpy. But that was fucking bullshit from top to bottom, front to back.
Bee shit. Listen.
Needs more bees.
We all just watched a classic movie called Jupiter Ascending. And in that film, Mila Kunis, who plays the Queen of the Universe, has a strange effect on bees. Bees love her. And someone says...
Bees are genetically engineered to recognize royalty.
That's correct. That's exactly what they say.
By a character named Stinger.
And as a Lodgecaster, I'm programmed to recognize a solid discount night action yard when I see one. I enjoyed this more than the last 3 John Wicks. They're bloated, beyond all recognition. This is... I'm not going to say it's tight, but I was fucking on board. When that Prince cosplayer showed up with the minigun, I was just like, this is exactly right. I'm sad that all my nacho cheese is gone because it would pair great with the cheese on screen. Listen, I'm not going to go crazy. I also was thinking about 3 bones, but I'm not going to do that. Meg Ryan, What Happens Later, taught me my lesson of getting too high on my own supply.
Don't overbone.
I'm not going to overbone, but this is a 2-bone movie, but I'm going to give it a Bumblebee Brother Ben bump to 2.5.
It's a Brother Ben bump, y'all.
And I feel great about that.
Yeah, extra half a bone for Statham on a skateboard underneath a truck. That was very well shot and choreographed. I bought every second of it.
That was
wow. Eat your heart out, Michael Mann.
That was not the best scene. It was not the best staged scene. Seeing him completely out in the open, just fucking creeping along on that skateboard. Oh, man. But see, that's why I love it. It is bad, but it's my kind of bad. So I think on a discount night, nobody under those blankets was pissed that they spent a discount night amount.
Well, I'm very curious to hear what the Lodge Father has to say.
Oh my God. And thank you again, Sister Kathy and the Lodge Father, for
both
funding this strange and wild adventure for us on this discount night. Let's let it rip. Hit it, Lodge Father. Love and light.
Love and light, I guess.
Your call has been forwarded to an automatic voice message system.
I am your Lodge Father. Greetings to all the worker bees of the Lodge Hive. I'm calling in to comment on the Beekeeper movie. We went, we saw, we did not get stung. What can be more irritating than phishing scammers tricking seniors out of their money? The villains make the mistake of crossing the loved ones of The Beekeeper. Jason Statham fans will not be disappointed. Anyone who was ever a victim of a phishing phone scam will be delighted. This is not a movie for little kids. The R rating was earned. Bone count of 2.5. Side note number 1. Where did they get all the stuntmen that form a circle and then wait patiently to be bonked by the hero? Side note 2. A salute to my little Minnesota buddies, Claire, Emma, and Tucker. Job well done on the Willow Wonka Lodgecast. That episode was informative and profanity-free. And now I never, ever need to see that movie. Side note number 3. May I be the first dues-paying Lodgecast member to demand a formal Lodge review of Abigail, the ballerina vampire. This void must be filled. That's all, Lodge kids. Listen to your seniors and be true to the hive.
Hey, bumblebee, come on and sting me. When I first met you, I felt a strange sensation. Couldn't understand what you could do to a man. I know when you make love, it's like the sting of a bee. Come on now, baby, do your thing for me. Hey, bumblebee, come on and sting me. Hey, bumblebee, come on and get busy with me. I wanna see if your kiss is as sweet as honey. I know you're the best, stand out from the rest. Girl, you got the chance tonight to make everything alright. Come on and make your flight, sting me with all your might. Hey, bumblebee, come on and sting me. Hey, bumblebee, come on and get busy with me. Yeah.
Lucas, come on, man.
This is all dog shit.